Morning in Jungkook's bedroom, he stood near the bed, arms crossed, eyes scanning the black outfit laid out neatly on the soft, dark sheets. A crisp black shirt perfectly pressed, black pants, a sleek black blazer, a shiny black belt, a designer black watch. Everything is set now. You mumble to yourself and smile softly. You were just admiring the items when a deep voice whispered near your ear, "Are you done admiring my stuff?" You jumped in surprise and quickly turned around, flinching as your eyes met the man standing so close behind you. Jungkook, white hair towel around his neck, no shirt, just sweatpants hanging low on his hips, was staring at you. "Mr. Jungkook," you gasped, taking a step back, flustered. "I was just checking if I put everything properly." He raised one eyebrow and leaned slightly forward. He had not breaking eye contact. You lowered your head immediately, unable to hold his intense gaze. "Here," he said and tossed you his towel. "Dry my hair." You hesitated but nodded, stepping towards him. He sat on the edge of the bed while you stood behind him, gently rubbing his wet hair with the towel. Your hands moved carefully, not too fast, not too slow. You avoided looking at his reflection in the mirror, but he was looking at you. His dark eyes followed your every movement. Suddenly he grabbed your waist with one hand. You froze. "You're shaking," he said softly, voice lower than before. "Stand steady. I can't even see your face properly." You gulped, cheeks burning. "I'm sorry," you whispered, trying to stop your hands from trembling. You started drying his hair again, focusing on the job. Jungkook smiled slightly as he looked up at you. His hand still rested gently on your waist, not too firm, not too soft. He was admiring you now, the way your lashes fluttered, the way your lips pressed together. You didn't notice the way his heart softened. It's been 2 years since you entered his life. You came into his world when he was injured in a serious accident. You were hired as a private nurse back then. But slowly things changed. You didn't just take care of his wounds, you healed something inside him too. Since then, you became his everything, his caretaker, secretary, nurse, assistant, and if he had to name the bond he feels with you, he would simply call you his wife. Of course, he never said it out loud, but you knew. He always protected you. He gave you the safest corner of his deadly will. The way he treated you, soft words, quiet care, stolen glances, it all said more than his lips ever could. After finishing his hair, he softly said, "I'm done, Mr. Jungkook." Jungkook stood up slowly, walking towards the bed. He picked up the pants and put them on. He buckled his belt. He looked over his shoulder. "You can proceed." You turned around and walked up to him. You gently helped him wear his shirt, buttoning each one with careful fingers. Then you placed the blazer on his shoulder and adjusted it. Lastly, you handed him his black sunglasses. "A dangerous, handsome African. It's been 2 years," he said, breaking the silence. "Still shy around me?" You didn't say anything. Your cheeks turned a deep shade of red. "I'll go set the table for breakfast," you muttered quickly and left the room, almost running away from him. Jungkook chuckled as he looked at his reflection in the mirror. "My cute little kitten," he said softly, brushing his fingers through his now dry hair. "Don't worry, one day I'll fade all that shyness in you." He smirked at his own reflection. Later, the dining room was silent except for the soft clinking of plates. Jungkook sat at the head of the long wooden table, dressed sharply in his all-black outfit. He looked like a powerful man, calm, confident, dangerous. He carefully placed his breakfast in front of him. Toast, eggs, sausages, and black coffee, everything just how he liked it. "Please enjoy your breakfast, Mr. Jungkook." You set the last spoon down. You step back. You were about to walk to your seat when his voice stopped you. "Sit with me." You blinked. "Sorry?" "I said company me," Jungkook repeated, taking a sip of his coffee without looking at you. You nodded quickly and sat down beside him, your hands resting quietly in your lap. Your heart was beating fast. He rarely asked you to eat with him like this, especially when others were around, but you liked it. Suddenly the doorbell rang. One of the maids rushed to the entrance. The sound of high heels echoed in the hall, followed by a high-pitched voice. Good morning. Jungkook didn't even look up as Lucy entered the dining room, her perfume filling the air before she even appeared. She walked in like she owned the place, wearing a tight red dress, her hair curled perfectly at the end, shields clinking. She looked bold and elegant. She twirled a strand of hair with her fingers as she approached the table. Having breakfast, Jungkook? She asked sweetly, her voice fake. Jungkook didn't even lift his eyes from his plate. No, he said flatly, I'm having dinner. Lucy paused, blinking. Yeah, don't make jokes early in the morning, she said with a flirty laugh. You always tease me. Jungkook didn't reply, he just continued eating, not even glancing her way. Lucy pouted slightly, but her eyes soon landed on you sitting quietly beside him, eating your toast with him. Her smile dropped. What is the nurse doing beside you? She asked sharply. You quickly wiped your mouth with a napkin and began to get up. I'll move. You began, but before you could push your chair back, Shankar grabbed your hand. Said, you looked at him, eyes wide. She is having breakfast, he said calmly, his voice firm. Do you have any problem? Lucy's face froze, but she forced a tight smile and tilted her head. Me? Problem? Why would I have a problem? She laughed, though it was clearly fake. Without waiting for permission, she sat down at the table across from you and began serving herself. A few minutes passed with just the sound of forks and knives scraping plates. Then Lucy broke the silence. So, she said, slicing her toast slowly. Chunguk, what about the engagement? Jungkook was mid-bite when he suddenly choked. You instantly reached for his glass of water and brought it to his lips. He took it without hesitation and drank from your glass, even though Lucy had also reached out with her own. He didn't even notice hers. Lucy's hand froze in mid-air. She stared at her untouched glass, lips twitching. Jungkook cleared his throat and looked at her with raised eyebrows. Engagement? He asked. Lucy smiled widely. Yes, I've heard our parents talked about it. Remember, they have already decided we are a perfect match. There were a short of pause. Well, think about it. Jungkook said casually, then turned to you. I have an important mission today. I might come back late. Don't wait for me. You nodded, lowering your eyes. Okay, Mr. Jungkook. Lucy blinked. You are telling her like she is your wife or something. Jungkook looked at her with a small smirk. She's more than that, he said. Lucy's eyes widened. What? She's taking care of me, living with me, understanding me, standing by me in silence, no drama. His voice was cool but heavy. You have any more questions? Lucy's lip trembled for a second before she shook her head quickly. No, I was just asking, she mumbled. Jungkook stood up, adjusted his blazer. I'll see you later, he said mostly to you, and then walked out without even sparing Lucy another glance. The sound of the main door closing echoed in the silence. You finished the last bite of your toast quietly. The air felt heavy, and you didn't want to look at Lucy. You gathered Jungkook's plate and your own and walked to the kitchen. You were about to wash them when you heard heels behind you. Turning around, you saw Lucy standing near the counter, arms crossed, eyes cold. I see what you are trying to do, she said sharply. You blinked confused. I didn't. Don't act innocent. She cut you off. Just because he's being soft on you doesn't mean you're something special. You stayed silent. Lucy stepped closer to you. Do you really think a mafia king like Jungkook will end up with someone like you? She sneered. You were hired as a nurse. Remember that. He didn't fall in love with you. He looked at her calmly and spoke for the first time. I never said he did. Lucy rolled her eyes and gave a sarcastic smile. Good, then keep your distance. You turned your back to her and began washing the dishes, your voice steady. I never chased him. I just stayed beside him when he was broken. Maybe that's what made the difference. Lucy stared at your jaw tight. You will regret this. You didn't answer. Lucy stormed out of the kitchen, heels clinking angrily on the marble floor. You stood there quietly for a moment, drying your hands with a towel. Then you snapped your fingers. The sharp sound made her stop and turn around, eyebrows raised. What? She asked coldly. You step forward, calmly looking straight into her eyes. I'm not trying to make him fall for me, you said with a soft but strong voice. If he already fell for me, then no one can separate us. Her expressions twist. You tilted your head slightly and continued, your voice low and clear. Do you remember? You said slowly. He drank from my glass, not yours. Lucy's lips tightened. He held my hand, not yours. Her face started to turn red, and he called me more than a wife. Not you. That was it. Lucy's face turned completely red with anger. Her eyes burned with jealousy. She clenched her jaw and stepped closer, pointing her finger at you. Say one more word, she warned, her voice shaking with rage. Just one more word, I swear. You didn't blink, you just raised your eyebrows slightly and smiled. She pointed to her chest, voice raising. Just watch. Jungkook and I will be getting married soon. My dad and his dad already talked. Don't celebrate too early. She gave you one last glare and stormed out of the kitchen. The house went quiet again. You stood still, slowly turning back to the sink, your lips curled into a soft smile. You whispered to yourself, how foolish she is. You gently touched your lips, remembering how Jungkook looked at you earlier, how he ignored Lucy's water glass and drank from yours, how he told you not to wait for him like you were the one waiting at home for her husband, how he held your hand and didn't let you move when Lucy insulted you. Those weren't small things, they meant something. You didn't need loud words or big promises. You had his quiet actions, and that was more powerful than anything Lucy could scream. You closed your eyes and whispered under your breath, Jungkook, you don't say much, but your eyes, they tell me everything. And with that, you turned to make yourself a warm cup of tea, still smiling, not because Lucy left, but because deep down you already knew where Jungkook's heart was, and it wasn't with her. Late that night, the mansion was quiet, only the sound of hurried footsteps echoed through the hallway. Quickly open the door, a guard shouted. You came running out of your room, eyes wide, the moment you saw Jungkook in their arms. Bloodied, pale, barely standing, your heart dropped. Jungkook? Then gently help him lie down on the bed, groaning from the pain. His shirt was ripped, hands torn, his arm bleeding, and his thighs had deep scratches. You ran to his side, hands shaking. What happened? Why didn't anyone call me sooner? Jungkook looked at you vaguely, giving a small smile. Wine, you're here? You touched his face, tears swelling in your eyes. I'm always here. Why did you push yourself like this? I had to finish it. He whispered, but seeing you now makes it worth it. You sniffled and helped him sit up a little, then turned to the guards. Leave, I will take care of him. Once alone, you carefully started undressing him. He winced a little. It's okay, he whispered. Watching you, I trust you. You took off everything except his. The wounds on his chest, arms, and thighs made your hands tremble. You bit your lower lip, trying hard not to cry. He noticed. Why? He spoke gently. Why are you crying? The wound is mine. You looked at him with tear-filled eyes and whispered, but the pain is mine. Jungkook blinked. You dabbed the cotton on a deep cut on his thigh. He hissed in pain and your tears dropped silently on the bed. Every wound you touched, every bruise you cleaned, it felt like someone was stabbing your heart. I don't deserve you, Jungkook said suddenly. You paused and looked at him. I'm lucky, he continued, to find someone like you, someone real, someone who doesn't want anything but me, not power, not money, just me. You said nothing, afraid your voice would break. Then he looked into your eyes. Wine, promise me something. He wiped your cheeks quickly. What is it? He took your hand in his. Stay with me forever. I don't know how to breathe without you anymore. Will you promise? You nodded without thinking. I promise, always. Jungkook smiled, eyes slightly closing. I'll get you porridge, wait, okay? You said gently. You helped him lean back on the headboard and tuck the pillow behind his back. When you came back with warm porridge, he was half asleep but sat up slowly. You sat on the bed and began feeding him carefully. Open your mouth, you said softly. He obeyed like a child. After a few spoons, he smiled. Better than any royal meal, he whispered. You smiled too. I added some love. After feeding, you helped him wear soft night clothes, covered him with a warm blanket, and dimmed the lights. You pulled the couch near the bed and sat with a small alarm in your hand to give him medicines every few hours. Around midnight you heard it when he whispered in his sleep. You rushed to his side. He was shivering badly, face pale, lips trembling. Jungkook, you touched his face, he was burning up. You turned off the AC, shut the windows, grabbed another blanket, but it wasn't enough. Without a second thought, you slipped under the blanket and wrapped your arms tightly around him. I'm here, you whispered again and again. You're safe, Jungkook, I'm here. Slowly his breathing calmed, his arms weakly wrapped around your waist. Then he opened his eyes wide. He murmured, do you love me? You froze, heart pounding. He stared at you with soft, warm eyes. Will you marry me? You didn't know why he was asking in that situation, but your answer was already in your heart. You nodded slowly. Jungkook smiled. He took a small silver ring from his chain and slid it onto your finger. I don't want to come close to you again without marrying you first, he said, brushing your hair. You stared at the ring, lips trembling. I wouldn't mind, Jungkook. As long as I trust you, I'm not scared. He looked at you with love. Then he whispered with a teasing smile, can you help me again? I'm feeling cold, very cold. You understood what he meant. You smiled shyly but didn't back away. You gently cubed his face. That night you didn't leave his side. You gave him warmth, you gave him comfort, you gave him love. And though the night was cold for Jungkook, your love made it the warmest night of his life. Next morning, the sunlight slowly peeked through the curtains, falling on your bare shoulder. You were sleeping peacefully, wrapped in Jungkook's arms. His strong chest was rising and falling under your cheek. You were both under a thick blanket, your bodies warm and tangled after the emotional night. Suddenly, one! A sharp scream made you jump awake. Jungkook's arm tightened around you for a second, also startled. You opened your eyes and froze. Lucy was standing near the door, her eyes wide in shock. Her mouth was hanging open as she saw you lying on top of Jungkook's bare chest. She rubbed her eyes, thinking it was a dream, but it wasn't. You gasped softly, realizing you didn't have anything on. You immediately pulled the blanket closer to your chest and sat up, cheeks burning. Jungkook was still calm. He ran a hand through his messy hair and said coldly, Lucy, get out. Wait outside. Lucy just stood there frozen. Now, he said, voice sharper this time. Lucy flinched and stormed out angrily. You quickly got up from bed, pulling your clothes from the nearby chair. Your hands were shaking as you wore your dress, still feeling nervous. Jungkook had some cuts, but he was much better than the night before. Let me help, you said softly, walking to him. He smiled and nodded. You gently buttoned his shirt, fixed his collar, and helped him wear a light robe over it. Thanks, he said warmly, brushing your hand. You always take care of me. You smiled a little. I'll bring some warm tea. But just as you turned to go, Lucy barged in again. Her eyes were red, her lips trembling with rage. Wait, she said and grabbed your wrist tightly. You looked at her confused. What were you doing on Jungkook's chest? You stayed silent, your heart was pounding. Before you could even speak, Jungkook came forward and removed Lucy's hand from you. Don't touch her, he said coldly. Go downstairs, swine. I'll join you soon. You nodded quietly and left, not wanting to cause more drama. As soon as you left, Lucy crossed her arms and shouted, You slept with that low class? How could you? Then before she realized, a tight slap landed on her cheek. The sound echoed in the room. Lucy held her cheek shocked. Jungkook's face was cold and full of anger. Don't you dare call her that, he said sharply. One is 10 times better than you. She's kind, she's real, she is my wife. Lucy's eyes widened. Wife? What about me? Our marriage? Marriage? Jungkook scoffed. Love, don't fake it. You never loved me. You love my money, my power. That's not true, she cried. Jungkook stepped closer. Really? Then explain last night when I was injured. Do you know I told the gods to call you? Lucy's eyes started to shift. They called. You said I'm at a party. Don't disturb me. If he's dying, let that nerd swine handle it. Then you cut the call. That's your love? Lucy was speechless now. I knew you were fake from the beginning, Jungkook said. I just needed proof. Just then you entered the room again, holding a tray with warm tea. Your eyes met Jungkook's and he smiled. He came forward and took the tray from you, placed it on the table, and then pulled you gently into his arms. Wine is my wife. We got married last night. He lifted your hand and showed the silver ring on your finger. Lucy gasped. She knew what that ring meant. Jungkook had once said he would only give that ring to the girl he truly loved. You gave her that ring? Lucy whispered, stepping back. Yes, Jungkook said, and we are officially marrying in 2 days. Lucy's face turned pale. Jungkook looked at her one last time. If you ever try to come between us again, I'll make sure you disappear into the dark. Remember that. Now leave. Lucy looked between you two, her eyes burning with hatred, and then stormed out. You looked at Jungkook, still in shock. Are we really marrying? He turned to you, holding both your hands. Don't you trust me? I do, you whispered. But what about your father? Your Mafia world? Jungkook smiled gently, kissing your forehead. I'll fight anyone for you, Wine, even if it's the whole world. Your eyes are filled with happy tears. I love you, you said, voice trembling. Thank you for watching.